Let's talk a little about the proper setup for the machine. And I don't have it plugged in here, but I am going to show you the setup. One moment. Got our unit. Okay, so starting from where you plug in, of course, you're going to need to plug it into the wall. Now, this is an older style wall plug that we use. Many of you have the yellow one. However, we do have a newer style that's smaller than this. It's black in color, but same exact performance. They each have a reset button. So if you plug in the wall and you don't see a light, automatically press the reset button, and that will turn on the light. You need to have that light on in order to have electrical current running to the machine. All right. Now, the next piece is remember to plug your module plug into the back, and you've got to push this in all the way. This has got to be pushed in the back all the way. A lot of times we get calls and people saying it's not working, the light's not going on. Well, it's just something very simple that could have become loose. All right, so just push that in the back. I'm going to plug this in actually so we can see a light on here. Just one moment. Okay, so let's look at the front of this unit. We're going to talk about what settings we need to have on this unit, okay? The first thing you need to do is to turn on the timer. Actually, let's do this. All right, so turn on the timer. Usually between 30 and 40 minutes is adequate. You'll notice that no light yet, no power. That's because we need to have the power level control in the on position. And if you turn it, just click it a hair, you can see now we have our green light. And the power level control is pointing toward max. It's hard to see here, but there is over here, there's the word max. So if you just click it barely, you're in the max position. And this is where you should start every bath, okay? Don't turn this dial unless you put in too much salt. This is something we want you to avoid. So you've got your timer on, and you've got your power level control clicked into the on position, just pointing at max. That's the best way to start. At this point, you've got your module connected and your module in the water. In fact, that you want to make sure what the module is in the water to begin with. Now, I don't have a bath set up, and that's the reason we're not seeing any activity on the meter. But as you, the ideal reading, let me get a screwdriver here. The ideal reading is going to be between 2 and 3. Look at that. Doesn't like my screwdriver. Okay, so the way to get that reading between 2 and 3 is to now sprinkle in a little bit of salt at a time, allow it to dissolve, and when it reaches about 2.5, that's when you want to stop adding your salt. If you do put in too much salt, you may have to turn down the power level control a little bit, but don't worry about that. That's okay. Just don't do it every time because you'll wear out your ring sets faster. Okay, too much salt means wearing out those ring sets sooner. All right, now let's see. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is that if you happen to put too much salt in, and you have to be turning this, I'm sorry, you have to turn this a lot. If I have to turn this down a lot, guess what? It's going to hurt my bath. I'm going to have erratic performance. So having this closer to max is going to give me my best performance. Okay. If you put too much salt in, you could blow a fuse. And this is why I say be gradual about how you add the salt. Most times you're going to have the meter reading closer to 1 or 0 when you start a bath, and as you add more salt, that begins to rise. Okay, so that's the balance that you have to make when you're starting a bath. Now I'm going to turn this off over here. Hard to do this when you're looking away at the camera. Now notice that my adjustment on the the meter, we have, let's see if I can get this, yeah. See that, how the needle is not lining up with 0? Well, here's something you can do to adjust that. It's just, you can use your fingernail even. There's a little slotted screw underneath there, and I'm going to make an adjustment by just turning that. Let me see if I can do this while you're looking. I don't know if I'm just turning it with my finger. Okay, now look. Does that look a little like it's lined up a little better? That's what you want to do, is to just give that screw a little tweak, and it'll give you accurate readings when you do your bath. So this is adjusting the meter.